Oh,
Oi.
could have gone in. From where we were, it looked like it may well have been sneaking inside the post, but Harpus did really, really well to tip it around for another corner. That was another dangerous moment for Campbelltown, having difficulty clearing their lines. They really, really don't want to concede again at this stage of the game, because at 2-0, they will have an absolute mountain to climb.
Pavicevic. Here's Burgess. Well blocked there by Fife. No handball, says the referee. Correct decision. Hit him on the chest.
Maybe he thinks he should have done better, though. He did have the goal. I wouldn't say at his mercy, but probably on another day he would have scored.
Matsumoto now in the corner. Great little turn there by Matsumoto. Cuts inside. He's on the byline. Can he get the right ball in? There it is. And that's 1-1 for Campbelltown City. That's against the run of play. Matsumoto did all the magic in the corner, turning his opponent in Woodcock. He squared the ball for Mark Marino, and his shot off a slight deflection goes in for the Red Devils, and that is 1-1 here at Steve Woodcock Reserve. And would you believe it, a half completely dominated by the visitors, but Campbelltown City right at the end of the first half.
Ball, but
that was a great ball.
Well done, Consoni. Again, it's not the first time he's come off his line really, really well. Whiteside now, and just suddenly there've been a couple of little moments for Sydney Olympic of nerves and panic. Madonis now tries to put through Max Burgess. Now they're on the counter-attack. We've got 3 minutes extra to play, so there's time. Madonis now, and Whiteside. Oh, and it's hit the post. It's hit the crossbar. Goodness me, Sydney Olympic still with another chance, and it's put wide there by Sanchez. It was Arn who hit the crossbar. Oh, initially I thought that was in. And Campbelltown breathe again. 1-1 remains the score.
Here we were thinking, Paul, that we were just going to cruise into half-time and have a nice glass of water, but it's all just happened. 1-1, and really Sydney Olympic hitting the bar there. Arn should have done better, and to be fair, Pavicevic again.
Arn's moved to the back. Ball in, it's shallow though, and Halliday gets it away, and Campbelltown are going to be able to get out of danger. And Detroit has done really, really well. He's all by himself, but he's managed to run away and find himself some space. Marino's done well to get in. Detroit has done really well here, and except until he played the ball out for for Alex Mullen, I should say. Change that there are a couple of golden opportunities that were missed. And the back post, and Mullen tried to get the shot in, it was blocked. And in the end, Matsumoto wide, but Detroit was too unselfish there. I thought he could have just gone straight to goal. He did the unselfish thing, he did the team thing. He went back to Mullen, but surely he was in a better position to just go straight for goal.
Yeah, absolutely. As we can see now, Paul, he had all the time and space at that back post, tried to do the team thing, knocked it back for Mullen. His shot was well blocked.
Or maybe just to be fair to him, it was coming a bit higher than he would have liked.
Goes to the near post, cleared by Halliday, who's won every single header from a corner
since he had a bandage on.
Since he put a bandage on. And he's going to win another one here. Gee, that's courageous. Well done by Halliday. Bit of aerial ping-pong. Now it's on the ground with Matsumoto. Matsumoto to Marino. Marino, great touch to Detroit. Detroit now down the left-hand side. Looks for an option inside. Can he find a Campbelltown player? It's well cleared in the end by Olympic, but it's fallen now to Campbelltown City. Marino has a shot. Here's Detroit. Great save. What a save, but Matsumoto still with a chance. Matsumoto, what can he do? Gives it to Marino. Cuts back out. The opportunity may now be gone for Campbelltown. Matsumoto. And they played it all the way back out. What a passage of play there.
Don't know how it stayed out in the end.
Don't know. Here's Mullen looking for an option. Plays it inside. Wasn't a bad idea, just didn't have quite the execution. What a passage of play that was. Toure. Now Halliday tries to swing it in. Won a corner. Good play there from Campbelltown City, acknowledged by the bench. They were very happy with that.
This is what you've seen a lot from Campbelltown though this season. And, you know, for people that haven't been watching the South Australian League and are tuning in from interstate, you know, they are a feisty team. They are a team that doesn't know when it's
go. Riley plays it inside to Talios. Trying to get back on his left. He's found Woodcock again. Swings it in. Burgess. It's a tame header in the end. No trouble there for Harpus. But that's how quickly Sydney Olympic can break and make something out of nothing. In the end, we just see his body shape.
His ball was very, very hot for Toure. And he's going to try to come back up with it, Campbelltown through Piscineri, but they've lost it now. Now here's Pavicevic. He's got no one in the middle, really, so he tries to play it through for Max Burgess, and he's won a corner.
Local's not happy.
No. But just watching the replay in the end.
Clear corner.
He took a bit of it. Maybe they're a bit upset that he took a bit of a tumble in the end, and maybe thought it might have been just a little bit overdone. But I don't think there's any question that it was going to be a corner. 8 players either in or just outside the box for Sydney Olympic. It's very shallow, and chance now for Madonis, but it's been won by Campbelltown. Here's Halliday. He's fallen over. And well done in the end by Mullen. And can he get the ball
Back
away?
to Halliday. Halliday inside the box to Young Viet. What will Young Viet do? He lays it across the box. Detroyer, heavy touch unfortunately. Can he regain his composure? Sydney Olympic have dropped back. Detroyer across the box. Young Viet, it's gone through his legs. And Mackenzie has cleared it. Another opportunity goes begging for Campbelltown City. Matsumoto plays it all the way back to Fife. Looks to swing it in, but that should be Consoni's, and it is. Fife turns his head in disgust with that ball. He was not happy with the delivery. But another good opportunity there for Campbelltown. Unfortunately for Detroit, his touch was a little bit heavy, took him too wide, and Sydney Olympic.
But it's gone short in the end, but a good opportunity to whip it in at the back post. Players gone down, nothing doing, says the ref. Here's Detroyer and Max Burgess, the 2 number 10s in battle. It's still in. Detroyer's got his back to the ball. Good battle there, and Campbelltown are going to have to clean it all the way out. Oh, no, that's a really good right. Now Sydney Olympic are on here. They've got about 3 on 2, and they've got one player all on his own on the left-hand side, and that's the number 10 in Burgess again. He's got a chance to shoot! Straight at the keeper, Harpus. And after a little bit of a spill, which just caught Satalios' attention, Harpus comes back up with the ball well. Not sure if that was the best option there for Burgess, because Sydney Olympic had some players forward. He's getting the Bronx, as you can probably hear, and he's just trying to find somewhere to find an outlet, and he's done that now through Darcy Burgess.
He's had such a good game, Max Burgess. That just wasn't necessary.
No. Darcy Burgess gets the ball back. Can he put a good ball in? Max Burgess tries to sort of just chip it through, but the Campbelltown defence were alive to it. And here's Thomas Viet. He holds up the ball, and good challenge there by Mackenzie. And then it's well won there as well by Max Burgess, who's having a big few minutes. Max Burgess really wants to pull the strings. Ball in there for Pavicevic, and I think he might have been just a bit distracted by his own teammate there as he tried to put that shot in, and it never really looked like it was going from the moment it left the foot.
Just get a feeling, a few loose passes. Harpus has done really well to stop that.
Wow.
That was an opportunity. That was the one that Sydney Olympic have been trying to get this second half. It opened up for them.
He really closed the angle in the end there, Harpus. Yeah. Didn't give him much area to shoot either side. Can he go himself? Still taking on the defence, but there were too many in his road, and Halliday's going to get the ball away now. And it's come out to great 1-2 there from Detroyer to Pictionary. But he's lost out. Good contesting by both teams now here in midfield. But now there's a chance here for Madonis to shoot. He comes inside one. Madonis, great saving tackle by Halliday. And it had to be. Gee, Madonis looked like he was about to pull the trigger. And Halliday, who seems to have almost grown in strength since he came back on with the bandage, he was there with the... It's well finished in the end by Max Burgess. But no, it's offside. And the Campbelltown supporters are relieved. Oh dear.
We just copped the spray from Joe Mullen. He said, "Did you see the flag? Come on, boys."
Well, as a matter of fact, there is a massive pole between us and the linesman in our defence.
I don't think Joe knows this is a national broadcast. He thinks it's going to South Australia only.
National Premier League semi-final. The winner to play against Lions FC in the final next weekend. It's going to be SA versus Queensland, or New South Wales versus Queensland, what might be called a state of origin in another code. In comes the corner for Olympic. Again, it's a shallow one. A lot of them have been from Olympic, And that was easily dealt with in the end by Halliday. But it's been well won again by Arnon. Here's Madonis. Gee, the pace is higher right at the end. Madonis now looks ahead of him, and he finds Max Burgess. Max Burgess has only got Pavicevic. He's going to go himself if he's going to do anything. Max Burgess, can he pull the trigger? He just decided to hold on, and he had a sea of red players in front of him, and Matsumoto has some space now. He's looking inboard, but he's got players limping inside him because they're either injured or tired. And the moment's lost. Arn won it back now, and he got it back out to the left-hand side with Woodcock. Woodcock, can he get a ball in? Pavicevic is poised in the middle. Max Burgess, great little dink through back for Woodcock. But Matsumoto got back. It's all happening here at Campbelltown. Now, can we get a shot in here? Burgess tries to get the shot in, but he was never favourite.
It's gone all the way to the back. Toure, first-time shot, well blocked. Detroit.
Penalty!
He's been given a penalty. The lunge from Arn has been penalised, and it'll be a penalty for Campbelltown City with 10 seconds left in injury time in the second half. Can you believe it? On the replay, it did look like a foul. The right decision has been made. The Sydney Olympic players are not protesting. They know it too. And it will be Ian Fife against Consoni for a chance in the grand final. The former Sydney Olympic player in Ian Fife, Sydney FC and Adelaide United. Can he put his Campbelltown City team into next week's grand final against Lion FC? If that happens, it will be played here in South Australia, folks.
Well, I don't want to mention a famous penalty he's taken before, but let's just hope that this one's a better result. A lot of people, I'm sure, will know what I'm talking about. But Fife now, all his experience, he is going to try to finish this off with what will almost surely be the last kick of the game.
A few people in the stand behind us, Paul, clutching their chest.
Yeah, I mean, this really is the deciding kick. It's either going to be a Campbelltown win and a final here between Campbelltown and Lions, or it's going to be extra time. Ian Fife against Ezekiel Consoni, who's been so good in goal for Sydney Olympic today. Fife now, the veteran, 36 years old, huge experience, runs on the spot. Ian Fife has scored! Campbelltown have done it, and Joe Mullen knows it. He runs onto the pitch. The subs run onto the pitch. There's barely enough time to take a restart. Campbelltown City are going to have their most famous day in their history next weekend when they host the grand final here at Newton at the Steve Woodcock Sports Centre against Lions FC. Sydney Olympic will be devastated. They started so well, they could have been out of sight in the first half an hour, but they're down 2-1, and there surely isn't enough time for them to be able to score in what could only be a handful of seconds remaining.
Well, the penalty was given after 2.5 minutes. There was 3 minutes of injury time, so 30 seconds.
And if you're wondering what penalty I'm talking about, Ian Fife, he famously missed in the shootout against Brazil that could have made Australia world champions at under-17 level in 1999. He scored now. Sydney Olympic have thrown everything forward. There's a clearance. There's the final whistle. Campbelltown City have done it. They will be in the National Premier League Grand Final for the first time. They have been in this competition before in 2013. They went out in the semi, and they're going to play Lions FC here next Sunday. Put it in your diary. It's going to be a fantastic occasion, and they will try to be the first South Australian team to win this competition since Northeastern Metro Stars in 2014. It's South Australia against Queensland in the final. Lions FC will seek to do what Brisbane Strikers couldn't last year, and that is take out the National Premier League final. It's been an unbelievable match. Campbelltown looked like they could never have gotten back into it early on. but they showed a huge amount of resilience and they played a great second half, Spiro.
Yeah, second half was all Campbelltown City. If you're a Sydney Olympic fan, commiserations, but unfortunately you didn't take your chances in that first half. You should have been out of sight. And of course our game, like we said earlier on, is all about chances, and Campbelltown City took theirs, and they will play, and not just play, they will host the grand final next week between themselves and Lions FC. You got to be disappointed if you're Abbotsford, the better team in that first half, but they really didn't perform in that second half, and Campbelltown City, led admirably by Alex Mullen, were so good in that second 45 minutes.
They certainly were, and there was that period, probably about a 10-minute period, where Sydney Olympic were squeezing late in the second half, and they were really asking the questions, but Campbelltown's defence stood up so well. What a comeback for Fife. I mean, he started the game poorly. I'm sure he would say that himself. Yeah. But he and Mullen, and they were ably helped out by players like Pictionary and Alex Mullen. That was Matthew Mullen I was referring to earlier, who was the centre-back partner for Fife. They were under a huge amount of pressure, but they never really gave Sydney Olympic much of a good chance. There was that one moment, I think, where Madonis got through, and that last gasp tackle by Halliday saved the day. But you wouldn't say that Harpers had to make any massive saves in that second half, despite the pushing that Sydney Olympic were doing late in the game. Yeah,
no, not really. Nothing comes to mind in that second half for Harpers, except, like you said, Paul, maybe that one-on-one opportunity late with Pavicevic, where Pavicevic should have done better. I'd love to see the replay of the Max Burgess goal. He scored a great header. It was given offside. But
to be fair, there were very few complaints from the Sydney Olympic players. I mean, we're on,
and the same with the penalty. I think they knew.
Yeah, we're on a pretty bad angle here, and as I mentioned, there's actually a floodlight between me and where that linesman, or assistant referee, I should say, was standing, and unfortunately we didn't pick it up right away. But Sydney Olympic will feel like they really could have won this match. Their players are in a huddle at the moment. Their season is over, and they really could have gone all the way. Such a club with a storied history. They played in all but one of the 28 NSL seasons, twice NSL champions, twice winners of the NSL Cup. They are a storied team in Australian history, but today is not their day. They've won the premiership and the championship double in New South Wales, and you can't say that isn't an outstanding achievement, and they've always got that to celebrate for 2018.
We're going to wrap up our broadcast here from Steve Woodcock Sports Centre. The winners are Campbelltown City of South Australia. They will go into the final next week, where we will welcome players like Giancarlos Solazano and Sean Carlos of Lions FC to be crowned champions of Australia, and the winner, of course, will have a place in the round of 32 in the FFA Cup proper in 2019. On behalf of myself, Spiro, and my colleague Paul, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week for that great grand final. Campbelltown City 2, Sydney Olympic 1.